So LeBron talked about CP3 in one of our last TikToks about him going to the Lakers, everything. So let's say if CP3 went to the Lakers and let's say if they won 2 rings. Is that more of a question of him being better than MJ?
How do I say that again?
Uh,
If CP3 they went with the trade and it's him and CP3 and Kobe Bryant won rings together, do you think
Oh
there's more
yeah.
of a question for him being better than MJ now? You
I
think that
I
gap
would
is
never
more?
I would never take Kobe over Mike though. Me personally,
If he
Yeah.
Kobe
won
could have won
7 or 8,
seven. No, he could have won
7 or
seven
8
or
gets
eight,
kind of
bro.
crazy,
And
Dale. 7 or
no,
8
it
is
is.
wild.
I'll say he's a better winner, but that's what I'll say.
Yeah, I
Okay, he's a
think
better
people will
winner.
say he's just the
He,
second coming of Jordan, and he just,
yeah,
you know
not
what I mean?
because
Okay.
he literally said it. What you see from me, I took everything and tried everything from that man. And and
Mm.
and when you look at it, bro, the numbers still don't add up. Like let's play the numbers game. Mike still
Yeah, yeah,
have
yeah.
6. And even Kobe had 7. Mike got what, 5 MVPs, Finals MVPs. Like
Six.
it
He's
just,
6 for
yeah, it
6.
just, yeah, 6 is
MJ kind
it
of
just
started a
wouldn't,
lot of things with voters
it
fatigue and
just
stuff
wouldn't.
like that.
And Mike did all that in 15 years, which many people negates, but that's you know what I'm saying. And then we got 2 years of the Wizards here, so he did all that in 13 years, bro. 6 chips, like
I mean,
Yo,
when
that's
but let
kind
me
of
Jordan
ask you
won
growth.
that
this. Let
ship,
me ask you
That's
this
growth.
though.
That's
Let me
growth.
ask you
It's
this though.
growth.
You dropped
It's
Kobe
growth.
since we're in the business of dropping players in different eras and stuff like that. How do you feel about Kobe being dropped onto the Bulls? Like just swap him. You know what I mean? The Kobe that we know swapped for Michael Jordan. Is he gonna go 6 for 6 and win 6 Finals MVPs the same way that Mike did?
I think Kobe could win 6 with Phil Jackson and them boys. They're literally like it's kind of gross how like they're like as
Now
players,
They're
switch
copy. It's a
MJ and
players,
clone.
Kobe. Now
as
switch
it
MJ
players,
and
just
Kobe.
right? As
it
players
just
and
sucks because
mentality
we've
and
seen
everything. Just
You want me to throw in a weird thing to think about though? Is that if you put Kobe in that era, he doesn't have Michael Jordan to look at in front of him. So who does he?
but that's why he's just taking the game though.
I know.
He's
Yeah,
just
just the
taking the
game.
I'm
game.
just
Yeah,
saying,
just
that's
the
what I
game.
would think
But
about.
the reason why I asked
No,
that
I thought of
question,
that too, JD.
the reason why
Yeah,
I asked that
exact same
question
thing.
is because Kobe had Shaq. And so he always had to play off of like somebody else. Michael Jordan really had nobody that was as demanding of a player as Shaquille O'Neal, right? Scotty was Scotty, of course, but he didn't have like a 1A, 1B option type of
Okay, so let
situation
me ask you
going.
a question. Would Mike win 2 championships with Pau Gasol?
Of course. Of course.
So that you know what I'm saying?
especially
So
in that
like
era.
because you brought up Shaq, like then Kobe had Powell
Yeah,
and
I mean,
Bynum, but
to me, and I said this in a couple episodes ago, to me, it's not just Powell because that duo, Kobe and Powell, is not that nice to me. He also had Bynum. You know what I'm saying? So it's to me, it's them
yeah,
three really.
Bynum was solid out there for sure, but
He
like,
gave Powell all his space that he needed.
but when he had when Powell came is when soon as Powell got there that year in the Lakers, when there was like a 7, they made it to the chip and lost in 08. Soon as Powell got there, that's why it's more Kobe and Powell. Because he had Bynum already.
Yeah.
Bynum was
I mean, I
drafted
understand
there.
it. I understand the narrative. I'm
So
not
Powell
arguing
made
against
it
that.
easier for Bynum. You know what I'm saying? Powell
That-
made it
yeah, that way
easier
too.
for Bynum to flourish. You know what I'm saying?
And
Yeah.
also, I think,
Bynum was there. Bynum might have been in the trade, or who cares? You know what I'm saying? Bynum was
and I,
there.
and I also think Kobe would have been Jordan before Jordan if you switch that era because he wouldn't have had a ceiling to look up to. Like I feel like Kobe looking at Jordan almost was detrimental. Of course, he wanted to outdo him, but his ceiling was only so high because he's like, this is where I could get to. But if you put Kobe back in that era unleashed with nothing to look forward to, I feel like he pushes himself more. I just feel like that's human nature.
No,
I feel
I
like he's
don't.
like 6. It might be
I don't
7 or 8.
agree. I don't agree
All right, yeah.
because Kobe's competitive drive sometimes fuels more than the other side of what you're talking about. That strive to wanting to be better than Michael Jordan could have been so helpful to who he is today. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know because we haven't seen it, but I just don't see how taking that away automatically makes him better.
Well, I could go from experience, not on the hoop court, but just off of the hoop court. I said, hey, I want to start a podcast and I want it to be different. I don't want it to be like anybody else's shit. And what did we do? We did it with no paint. We didn't go after what everybody else is doing. Everybody said, we're going to do it like this. We're going to draw within the lines. We're going to make it like this. We're not going to curse. We're only going to have 2 people on here. We're going to agree most of the time, but then we're going to do this and do that. But no, now I'm like, what?
So
now
but
I'm
you're right with
curious.
that.
to how
You're-
far we can push this. There is no Jordan in front of us. We're the Jordan now, essentially.
So now
Every
what
other
you're talking
podcast
about,
is like every other
When we
podcast.
have a Jordan.
but now what you're
That-
talking
that's a
about,
fact.
I am a goat.
now
Right.
what you're talking about is being more unique and being more unique with your craft and being more different from everybody. But let's keep it real. We still have a competitive drive to be better than everybody else, correct?
Oh,
We,
of
s-
course.
we still have that.
You don't think
competitive
MJ
drive.
had
Why?
that drive? That's the same
Yeah,
drive
definitely.
MJ had with that.
But that.
So what did
we
MJ
lean,
have to look
we
up
lean
to?
on that. We lean on that competitive drive to push us to that next
It's a good
level. You
point,
So
feel
what
me?
Shaq.
did
It's
so
a
what
good
did MJ what did MJ have
I
to?
mean,
what was his
not
competitive
everybody
drive?
is wired like that, Shaq. So you can have a player like you said with Kobe. He sees Michael Jordan and he's like, okay, this is who I'm trying to beat, or this is the ceiling that I'm trying to reach, and then that kind of stunted him because he wasn't going to get
But
beyond
Kobe
that.
had to be that.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I'm not arguing that. What I'm saying is like Michael Jordan, since we talking about he didn't have nobody, that may have worked for him. Like you know what I mean? Like some guys need to see the light at the end of the tunnel in order to find their way. Other guys are just free spirited like that and competitive like that to where they can just run however they need to run. And listen, man, sky's the limit. I'm gonna go wherever I need to go, however far I need to push it. Not everybody's wired the same way.
That's a fact. That's of course a fact. But I don't think Kobe in his first years when he wasn't getting no time and when he was out there airballing, I don't think he was like, I'm chasing Jordan right now. I think he was just pushing himself to just get to that next level. He wasn't thinking about MJ.
Okay.
Until he
Unless
he does.
competed, that's when he was
I
like,
see that.
That's a
I see
solid
that.
point.
That
That's
is,
a solid point.
but that's
That's
I
very
mean
solid.
MJ. But let's use MJ. MJ was a very competitive person, but he didn't have nobody to look back to. He was looking at Magic and Bird, and he wanted to put
He was
himself
just
in the
looking
Dr.
at their
J.
those
success
guys.
as winning.
Dr.
Dr.
J.
J.
Success.
Dr. J. I forgot about him. Yep, my bad.
He
Dr.
was
J.
looking
Like
at their success.
he in his competitive mind, he's like, nah, I gotta be where those guys are. I have to be. Like I think competitive people will always find that drive. I think just because coming before MJ, I think he'll still find a way to be competitive.